everybody. I'm Dustin I.
And I'm Z.M. Wise.
We're here to lecture about self-publishing and print-on-demand services, advantages and disadvantages. If you wouldn't mind, we would like everybody to introduce themselves to each other. Just state your name and what you hope to learn from this workshop.
I'm Amanda. I'm a social worker. I crash AIPF every year. I'm the poet groupie, and I'm doing that extraordinaire. I'm a AWE here, and I'm going to be putting my own psychological self-help books.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm from Minnesota, but I used to live part of the time in Austin, so this is just fabulous for me.
Oh.
I actually won second place in this festival,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I'm here because I'm really interested in what you guys are doing with the Anthology. The what comes together. Yeah.
You want me to close the door?
Yeah.
Okay. The Anthology.
Yeah.
I'm from Austin.
I'm with Nell McLean, and I'm just interested in self-publishing.
Where are you from?
I'm from Austin. I'm here.
You, sir, in the back.
Okay, I'm Hal Clark. I'm from Waxahachie, Texas, up near Dallas, and I'm just interested in getting more information about the self-publishing.
Back here.
Mike, I'm from Austin, and I'm also interested in learning a little bit about self-publishing and how to help it.
I'm Nicholas. I'm from Herndon, Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C., and I'm here because I'm not in the fast and poetry sessions.
My name is Greg Silver. I'm an member of the Austin Poetry Society since 2006, and I'm highly interested in learning about self-publishing because it's well out for myself.
Awesome.
I do, sir.
I'm Victor Johnson, but I go by Birdman. I'm actually a poet. I have 3 poetry books published and 2 chapbooks which Dustin published, one on writing. And I'm just here to support them. If they have any questions, because I didn't publish, I can kind of throw in some things. And I'm originally from Michigan, so.
Do you live here?
Yes.
You here in the front?
Carolyn Cornell, and originally from New York City, moved here 2008. I self-published one book of my photos and other poets' haikus, and that was a little over 2 years ago that I did that, and I just had my own little self-printing of some of my poems to have handed out at some of the readings I used to go to. So I'm more interested in hearing other options and market information and seeing in a practical sense.
You that just walked in, would you like to introduce yourselves? Tell us why you're here.
My name is Jane Parsons. I've been involved with this organization for about 4 years.
Okay,
I'm right
that's
now
great.
in Morrison.
Well, first things first, thank you all for introducing yourselves. Just so you know, self-publishing is an authentic route. We have, in 2009, 76% of books were self-published. So, make sure.
2009?
Yeah, well, that's the most recent we had. 2009. The trend's probably growing. So, that's good news. Is that this is an authentic route. We have now what is called print-on-demand service. You have CreateSpace, Lulu.com. There are a few others where you just send them the file. If you can get a graphic designer to design the cover, you don't have to pay for that. We use CreateSpace for our Anthology over here.
So don't you have to do the layout before you send them the
Yes.
file? Yeah.
And you have to, what we had to do is order a proof copy of this, look through it, make sure everything was okay. They'll do a digital proofing, where they show you if there's anything like bleeds or anything that might take place.
So you can look at it online, just
Yes.
like it's going to print.
But you still have to order a proof copy from CreateSpace. All you're obliged to order is one, and it was like $3 for this. It's 150 pages. And this is From One Spear to Another, Best of Harbinger Asylum 2010, 2012. We've been self-publishing a magazine called Harbinger Asylum for 2 years. And it's a very good route to take if you want to get your name out there, build a press. Just what we did at first was we were scaling out readings and stuff. And people got interested, and as time went on, we started charging for it because we have to pay for the printing. So we charge $5 per copy of the magazine, which is in that box over there. This is $13. But
how much do the regular copies cost you? That cost you $3 for that one?
just for the proof copy, what they do is they'll let you set your price. And we charge $12.95 online. You pay shipping when somebody orders a copy. They print it on demand. That's why it's called print on demand. And then they ship it to the person who orders it. And it's so much time. It's time consuming to print so many copies, 150 or whatever, and then try to sell them. It's so much. You end up giving away a lot of copies, and things like that. Here, they just print it. And they give it to the person that buys it, and you don't have to worry about all the time consuming, the paper consumption, and all that. So that's the good news about print on demand services.
And you told me earlier they keep 60% of it.
No, you get 60% of the royalties that is made from the actual sale of the book. Like I said, $12.95 we get about for Create Space when it's sold on their side. We get about close to $8 for a $13 book, and that's per book. And we also they take about $3 or $4 for themselves in the actual printing costs. Other than that, it's so much easier than trying to deal with printing out a bunch of copies and having to go out and sell them. Taking it to a print shop or whatever. That's what we did originally for the magazine. We bought our own printer, cover with a copier printer, and that's what we did. About Anthology. Anthology is a collection of works by a variety of people, and usually it's themed. And the only thing that's really advisable about an anthology is you should have passion for the project. That's pretty much common sense, right? You should be able to be involved intimately with what you're working with. So, the first things first, you want to have the passion, and you have to know where you're going to look for the people you want to get involved with to publish. We've been doing this for 2 years with our magazine. I just took the best of it, what I consider the best, and he looked it over and improved, and we worked and collaborated. We decided what we wanted in this anthology after 2 years of publishing a magazine. You might decide to do something else, not even be poetry. You might want to publish something about your experiences in a hospital or something. I remember people talking about how they felt, watching people sick or something, whatever it is. And, the way you would look for that online is one place. You can look for people we use Facebook. I connected with a lot of people through Facebook, and I've heard a lot from poet groups online, and on Facebook especially is a good place. There's one called Poets and Writers, variety of groups you can ask to join on Facebook, and you can meet other poets through that online. And there's some numerous people out there that are actually interested in writing. It seems like sometimes you're just a minority of one. But there's so many writers out there that are intrigued and love what people do when they publish. They like to be published and it feels good. So one thing I suggest about actually getting an anthology done is you want to set yourself deadlines. I set about 3 or 4 myself because you want to make sure you keep on track. And the way I would do it is I would say I would collect all of this material by, say, June 1st, and then when June 1st I cut the deadline off, I no longer accept submissions. And then I go into the part where I'm actually putting the book together, and that might take 3 months or whatever. And then we'll just keep everything on track, we don't have deadlines. So you want to set reasonable limits for yourself. You know your own pace, right? So it's good to have reasonable deadlines. And one thing I want to make sure everyone's aware of is there's this thing called a vanity press.
Oh, I'm sorry, what press?
A vanity?
A vanity?
Yes. That's where you actually pay a publisher to publish your book. It's not advisable because it looks bad on your poetic resume. It looks like you're desperate to get published. So a regular publisher will probably not accept you, or if they do, then few and far between. And you pay for copies of your own book in a vanity press. So if somebody says, I'll publish you for a couple $100 and then you have to buy 20 copies of your book, forget it. That's a waste of time. It's your book. You can do what you want.
And then they own it?
And that's another thing. If they ask you to take the rights from you, you don't want to deal with that either. Because you want to retain the rights to your own writing. Victor can tell you all about that, about Publish America, how they almost tried to steal the book from him. I read online that Publish America does not share a lot of their information with the public, so you don't know a lot about Publish America other than what Victor's told me, and they basically ripped him off. So that's one of the print on demand and all this that they do, and they take the rights to your book. So you don't want any contracts with any print on demand services. Yes.
Well, how is that vanity press different from self-publishing?
Well, the vanity press will actually
provide the printing press and what else? Paper and
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, what does a vanity press provide the author?
Nothing actually.
It looks like someone chose
it's a desperate attempt to get published.
It provides vanity.
Exactly. It's stroking the ego. I got published thing. That's a lot of people that just want to be published.
It's good for about 10 seconds.
And there's a lot of fake contests. It's kind of the equivalent of a fake contest where they make you pay for a book after they say, well, you won the contest. That's just not fair.
So if I self-publish, my vanity lasts longer, or what?
Well, if you self-publish, you get the feeling of it and also getting involved with other people. And, with print on demand, you market yourself, and it's much more legit in the industry now.
Okay.
It's a good way to build a name. That's the primary thing. If you want to pay for it, if you want to make money off your book, it's the best way to do print on demand and market yourself online. If you pay for the book, and you see what I'm saying, is like if you pay to have your book published and then you have to buy copies of the book, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. And also good news about print on demand, they provide the ISBN, which is a little barcode on the back. That will make it easy, for the marketers and stuff to take care of this. With print on demand on CreateSpace, they sell through Amazon too. They're connected to Amazon, and so when they have that ISBN, it looks legit too. That's the good news, and it actually makes it to where you can sell in bookstores and stuff. And another thing about CreateSpace, you pay $25 for expanded distribution. You can get a library. You obviously have to do the marketing yourself. You have to call the library and ask them to buy your book, things like that. I had a friend named Poet on Watch who did this. When she'd go into a town to sell her book, she would call the libraries and ask them if they'd buy a copy. And
before she got there,
no, when she got there, she would do it.
was she come to show them the book? Is that?
You have to ask her. Obviously, she's not here, but I don't know how she did it. I haven't done this yet, but
Anyway, they did buy it sometimes.
sometimes they do buy it and put it in their library.
What about if you wanted to donate it to the library?
I haven't done it yet, but I've heard that you have to fill out a form, and they either take it or they don't take it. It depends. With a local book, this is a lot of local writers in the Houston area. They might take it in Houston, but it's probably not much interest to somebody in Colorado or somewhere. Yes.
The library thing is because I started to do it. My sister stays up in the Dallas area, and she actually took my first poetry book, and I can't think of which university is up there. They actually had my book in the library. The thing about it is, though, if Publish America would find out about that, even though she went to them, they would get mad about it. They would get upset because, they wanted to check. Hey, okay, Publish America, anything they do for you, they charge you for it. Like marketing, anything. If they want to set up a book signing, they say, oh, we can do the books, we can help you out.
More like
They
a
charge
fancy
you.
press than
Whereas, like I said, Zach will find out with Maverick, even though he prints your book out, you can do what you want really with it.
That's the best option too. Is
What's Maverick? I didn't hear about Maverick.
I had a book signed at the store. You can actually do that with him. Whereas, and when you can do it with Publish America, but it's more like you don't let them know what you're doing. Because it's, like I said, it's, you're on that 7-year contract and it's a lot of things, you know. So.
This is a book by Steve Weber called Plug Your Book, Online Book Marketing for Authors. Somebody suggested this to me. This is a wonderful book to learn how to actually market online. It has so much advice. This guy actually learned from experience. And one of the things I've learned is you can actually, when you do print on demand and you buy a few copies of your own book, you can give them to reviewers to review on Amazon. You know, things like that.
Hey, but you mean reviewers like for your industry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to find somebody within. One of the things that this says is amateur reviews are actually better. Like, you know, you find somebody that frequently reviews books in your niche online on Amazon, and you can use them. I haven't done any of this yet, but we're working on it. I haven't tried it out. I don't know from experience, but I know from this book that I've read this thoroughly.
And I was going to interject, I just heard, I was at our Writers Conference in Minnesota a week or so ago, and I just heard, well, actually, this is through a friend who's an IT guy. YouTube is really successful right now.
Yes. You can make little videos and stuff. I've heard that.
I've got a YouTube channel myself.
We do this.
Yeah.
So
So you leave somebody a notes on there or something? Well,
you can make little commercials basically and put it on there and market it through that.
We actually marketed this Anthology on YouTube.
great, and I was just going to interject, that's because this summer Google changed its algorithms, so it used to be driven by reviews, and then you could get yourself higher in the search results.
Yes.
And now they threw advertising in there to such a level that that's not working like it was to get seen, so you might have a name that you pop in the first page and you're now on page 110. So it's destroyed thousands of businesses that were small throughout America.
Yes.
But YouTube is a way around that.
I used to be an Amazon reviewer, and the software, now this was way back 10 years ago or more, I reviewed about 50 books. I just flooded it with reviews. And then I had friends click on my reviews.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, that's a very good way.
My reviews always came out near the top.
Well, one of the things that I learned marketing-wise is you ask people to like, on CreateSpace you can like the book on Facebook, just like any other page. And I have about 197 likes, and I've sold about 40 copies. So if you measure that, you look at that, and you can see for every 200 people who like your book, you might sell 40 or something.
There's a like button.
Yeah, it has a little like thing on you.
In the last workshop, something became relevant. Guy didn't work with CreateSpace. I wanted to ask you this question because it's probably relevant to everybody in here. He said that when it came to that other thing, Lulu, that he used, that you have to have at least a 90-page book, or they will not print your title on the binding, and you can't get put into a bookstore unless that's true. What is the standard for CreateSpace for how big?
I don't know their standards about this. They did let us put Pickering and Wise Best of Parliamentary Style. They put it on the
How
binding.
many pages is that?
This is 150 pages.
Oh.
Yeah, so it might be just that the spine's too thin
He personally achieved putting the lettering on his spine of a smaller book than 90 pages, 60 pages, but it was itsy bitsy.
Yeah, it's possible, but the font will be much smaller.
Yeah, and this is so much. We had Amanda Crowther, which is a friend of mine. We had her do the graphic design for this, and I asked her to put it on the spine, and she said there was plenty of space, and she was able to fit it all on there.
I know these are my first 2 books, and they go for I think this one is 61, and I've been to other places that said we had 42 pages of poetry. It's all right. But then when I went to Maverick, which is a little thicker, smaller, and I have 200 and some poems in there. And he did this because this was my first book through him. And he, like I said, he did my book, and then compared to these 2. And this one here is $14.95. If you go online, these 2 here are $16.95.
And you didn't get any money out of it.
And the thing about these 2 here is $16.95. And then if you order it online, you pay $20, up to $20. I only get $1.99 for each book that's sold.
And then they like
That was for that Print America thing.
And so what I did is I just went on and it cost me a little bit more to get my own copies, and I sell these myself, but I don't sell them at $16. I sell both of these at 10, and I sell this one at 14. And it's kind of crazy. I'll pass it around so you can look at it, and the quality is a whole lot better.
How much do you sell that one for?
14.
14, how much you pay for it?
This is $14.95. I sell it for 14, and the trick is for every poet that I get to go to math, he deducts when he print my books out. That's why I try to get a lot of poets to go there, because if you use my name, he deducts what he charged for me to publish my own book.
Lucky for me on the last ones.
No, you don't know that.
That's what he said.
I know that. And like I said, with Publish America, you know, they put me on a 7-year contract. And if I want out of it, then I have to pay them. They said they can stop printing this for me. It's gonna cost me $150 for each book to get out of the contract with them.
Yeah, they take the rights to the book.
Right. And I
don't deal with them. Look at your contract. Create Space, right. They let us retain the rights. They work with their Amazon company. They distribute through Amazon.
If someone searches Amazon and you pay that extra $25, then find your name, your book.
We don't have to pay the $25 to get Amazon, but the $25 it'll be in other catalogs. I haven't done that yet either, but I do know that it's called expanded distribution, and it'll go out to further outlets like Barnes and Noble. They go through Amazon Europe and Amazon America. They do that. All you gotta do is sign into their contract, which is very reasonable, I think. For them, you just click. It's like clicking when you get on a site and they say, "Do you agree to these terms?" That's all it is. And then they let you keep the rights to your book and market it yourself. Like I said, this book over here, Plug Your Book, is very. Go
I
ahead.
think that's the more legitimate than the banner presses, which
Yes.
are lots of strong.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to
Is it
make
as
money.
legitimate as a regular publisher?
Well, regular publisher, it's very difficult to get involved
Hard
with.
pressers, I don't know, is that the name of it? Joking.
I'm gonna let TM take over from here, and he'll tell you more about it. Why it's the difference between the different types of publishing. Yes, go right ahead. We'll get out of your way.
First of all, I need to ask you all a serious question. How many quotes does it take to screw in a light bulb? Okay, 10. One to screw in the light bulb, the other 9 to say, I could have done it that way. All right. First of all, we're going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of self-publishing. One advantage is the time to markets. For self-publishing, the author's book can be ready within a few weeks, literally. Where you go through a traditional publisher, there's a bigger process. You have to go through a literary agent, and once you do that, there's about a 6 month to a year time. And once you get to the publisher, there will most likely be another 6 to 12 months waiting. So if you don't mind waiting, fine. But if you want to get your book out on the market ASAP, go self-publishing. The opportunities that are missed, as Dustin was saying before, 76% in 2009, all books were self-published. It seems to be a faster market nowadays, as the traditional publishers will only go for the people who are going to make them a ton of money. They wouldn't even pay attention to us except that they knew they'll get a bigger paycheck. So for them, it's all about money.
For them, they want you to kind of, I think, also have had a ton of what they call platform or whatever,
yes,
where you've been seen at all these big speaking events and conventions. It's more than even, I think, that you've sold some books. You need to have like 10 different things that you do.
Oh yeah, you need to build up a name for yourself. It's not just the book.
Yeah.
It's not just your book, it's your
And they
reputation.
don't publish a lot of poetry books through traditional publishing.
No.
Most of them are
And if you ever do see through Harper or Doubleday or Penguin, you're most likely going to be the classics. there's barely anybody new, except well, on the exception of there's this certain American poetry award. Somebody wins once a year and they'll publish their book through Penguin, but other than that, it's pretty much obsolete. Control for self-publishing. Author makes all the decisions, all the calls for their content, the design, the cover. They get to do all that by themselves, rather than the publisher making the decisions for them, which can pretty much cause tension, controversy, and it'll pretty much just turn into a huge feud. As far as the rights for self-publishing, author retains all the rights, including if it wants to be translated into a foreign language, or if it wants to be made into adapted into a television series or a film. And with poetry, we all know how often that happens. And of course, the ebook rights, which is very high right now. We're doing the Harbinger Asylum with the magazine and the Anthology. We're doing the paperback books, but with a lot of poetry magazines, they call them e-zines because they're strictly online. As far as the income, the authors can earn the higher royalties, whereas with the traditional publishers, you're sharing pretty much, whether it's 70, 30, 60, 40, depends on the publisher. As far as the payments, all the publishers tally the royalties once or twice a year, whereas authors can receive them pretty much like a monthly check. They can receive a monthly check, and sales will go towards the Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, Smashwords. There's a few other sites. CreateSpace is just a set of Amazon, of course.
Smashword, what were you just listing off? Sorry.
As far as the monthly check, that's sales that come from these different sites. And Smashwords, we're not. How much do you know about it? Because
What is Smashwords? It's just an online.
Yeah, it's not specifically for poetry. It's kind of like Barnes & Noble's, Amazon. It can be for any category.
But it's called
Smashwords.
Bookstore?
Smashwords.
It's a site. It's not like it's not a physical store.
But it's a bookstore online.
Smashwords.
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, I haven't done too much into it. There's no backlist. Pretty much the publisher can take away the book. That means backlisting. There's not enough sales going on, and the publisher finds out about it. It's not good news for them. They're going to say, okay, we're going to take this out. And the ISBN number, authors can have their own. This doesn't say. Anybody tell me what ISBN stands for?
International
Book number. It's the industry standard book number, and it identifies each separate book as their own special code.
How much does it cost if you're not doing that for somebody,
I looked it up, and it was about, they sell them either 1 or 10 or 100. It can cost anywhere from one, I think it was like $250.
Wow.
To get an ISBN, and it'll go along with your books. All this, but it'll be each copy of the book, the same book number.
Yeah, and what you were saying, what you were mentioning,
Very expensive.
Lulu before. Lulu is pretty much the definition of expensive. It pretty much costs a fortune to get your own book made. There's this one.
And through Lulu?
Yeah, through Lulu. Yeah, there's this one specific poet, BGK, who's had his books published through Lulu, and he has to pay as much to buy copies of his own to sell. So he spends the exact amount of money that he's going to make in the future. It's just not good news at all. It costs a fortune.
Definitely CreateSpace is cheaper.
CreateSpace is definitely cheaper. So Lulu X, Vanity Press X. Publish America. Yeah, Publish America X.
What about the zines versus e-zines? Does anybody use the word zine anymore, or?
Well, zines, of course, it's just a shorter term for magazine. But yeah.
They tend to be self-published magazines.
Yes.
Print shops. What we did was we did it for a print shop. We didn't put an ISBN number. We sold it by hand.
And we got a sponsor.
What's the difference between that and what I'm saying? I'm sorry.
The difference between a magazine and an e-zine, e-zine is just strictly done online. Whether they,
That's an easy.
Yeah. As far as each separate issue, it'll come out online. You can either stream it online or there's a PDF download. Whereas with a regular magazine, there's a subscription form which we have. And what we're doing specifically with poetry, we're trying to. There's very few people who still do this, but it's revolutionary what we're doing. We brought back the paperback, like the physical poetry magazine. Most poetry magazines I've seen are strictly online, and it's easy to get most of them online.
Is there a market for like selling like the local performance of your work?
iTunes for sure. iTunes.
That's one. We just ran yesterday. You use iTunes.
SoundCloud. There's one that begins with
SoundCloud.
Yeah.
You heard good things about.
Yes. Me and my friends on it. They've gotten very decent reviews.
So how does that work? You have to produce your own, obviously, and then send it to them?
Right. You make your profile. As far as producing them, if you have the right equipment, you can do it all on your own. Otherwise, you'll have to find somebody who has a studio.
Right.
They'll give it to you, and then you put it on there.
And you send it to iTunes and say, you can sell this under my name. Do they get rights? What happens with that?
As far as iTunes, I'm personally not familiar with that. But there's a bigger process.
iTunes link. How much? I think it's actually my son does it. Oh, it's pretty close to 70%.
Somebody told me the other
They
day.
sell very cheap too.
Yeah, for 99 cents.
99 cents.
Okay. Because I would be really interested in finding out about that.
Of course, and if you want to go the video route, you can do what I do. I have my own YouTube channel, whether I'm recording, like reading published poems at home, or I record myself at readings. They say if you want people to buy your work, they're going to have to hear you first. You can't just be this anonymous author, with just a book. They have to hear you first.
That just takes time and effort.
Oh yeah.
Go to the readings, the local readings, any reading you can find where there's poetry people. You go there and talk to them, make that connection.
And if you're like me, you'll have to get over the stage fright. When I first started out, I was kind of doing this, and I couldn't get through half of what I was doing, and I would say thank you for listening, and pat myself on the back, yeah, sure, that was a good job.
I remember when I was selling magazines at Barnes & Noble during the readings, they don't allow that left on there.
That's right. Yeah, I'll definitely go into that. That's one of the disadvantages.
I have something for sale. We'll meet you outside in the parking lot. We'll trade there.
Yeah, it's their own little private bar back in the alley and that kind of thing.
They do wonderful service about being letting these readings go on there.
Yeah.
So
anyway, moving on. There's outsourcing, which pretty much means that numerous companies offer just a range of services for self-published authors, with certain packages to suit any of them, as far as editing, marketing, promos, press release, audio CDs, DVDs, etc. And here we are, print on demand. We were talking about that before. Self-published authors can do print on demand. It means the book will be produced when someone buys the quality of the product, and it's equal to that of a publishing house itself.
Do you know anybody who uses any of this outsourcing? Can you list those again? Editing, marketing, audio, video?
Editing, marketing, promos. There's a
Press release.
There's also a video book, like video book trailers that you can make yourself, and like another example of YouTube.
Just where you
film students.
You say this is what my book is about.
Exactly. You don't want to spoil it. You want to lure them in. You want to have them buy it. Like, now I want to know what it's about. Instead of telling them.
There's something I found out about different audio and video that may be helpful to some people on here. Somebody the other day that has been doing this a while says, told us something that audio sells much more than video.
Yeah.
People, stick it in their phone or whatever. And then also, the problem with editing, if you get a clean piece of you doing the perfect poem, great. But if you need to edit and you're using video, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, you got to match up the audio with the video as you're editing it. But with audio, you don't have to do that.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
that convinced me I wanted to do audio.
It's timing. It has to be in sync. If it's not in sync, it's pretty much going to look like a Godzilla film with the wrong dubbing and everything. It's just a disaster.
Quick on that note, has anyone ever just gone ahead and like you do children's book, like you have written and then you include the little
Oh, like the book and CD?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, I bought a few poetry books and the CD actually came with it. It's the audiobook and sometimes it's usually, for poetry, it's usually read by the author. Of course, unless it's kind of like William Blake unless they're dead.
But in other words, would that be part of the self-publishing venue that you do that?
Completely up to you. That it might cost a little more, but it's totally worth it. Yeah. It actually, if you go that route, it'll probably make you stand out from all the others.
Yeah.
So.
Which
There was a guy
one?
here last year, man.
What is
The book and CD.
Mason had his book printed, and he was here last year, and he had a CD that he put in the book with it, and it came with the purchase.
That's how we want to do it.
Yeah, that would be something you would probably want to go through, the route of having the book printed and then just make the CD separate and put it in there.
Okay. How about insofar as, do you know, like marketing, if you put your own visuals with the poems?
Visuals, like, are you talking about like
My
videos?
own photography or my own art?
Oh, with
that,
the
we didn't do that, but you can do that. And it has to be a certain resolution. I think it's at least 300 dpi, which I don't even know what dpi.
You can probably talk to Carl Stryker about that because he included like plenty of photographs with his book, and also talked to Tom, the world poet. He did that as well.
He did a really excellent job
With the video shot.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah.
Tom's,
Tom, the world poet,
Yeah.
he did a really good job with that.
There's the control over production costs. Self-published authors can keep their books at competitive prices. They can have the complete power to decide what the price is, pretty much what we did, and also what formatters and designers to choose from as far as the cover and the formatting of the book itself. Like Dustin said, we had a graphic designer, our dear friends. That's a great advantage with almost any aspect of life. Connections, it's about who you know. So, and this allows them to keep their books quite competitive and on the market.
can I ask you, what's the name of your poetry magazine now?
It's called Harbinger Asylum.
Harbinger Asylum.
And I meant the magazine, I'm sorry.
Yes, the magazine. I mean, just the anthology is from one spirit to another. We actually dedicated that to Neil Armstrong and came up with the title. So we thought if we dedicated that to him, it actually might get out a little more. Plus, because he passed recently as well.
He also actually had Neil Armstrong.
Yeah, I got to write the closing letter in there. It's about in 2004 for the NASA Rotary Awards how I met. I actually got to meet Neil Armstrong. I shook his hand and everything. My father, my passion is poetry. My father's passion is space, and so you pretty much should have seen him. It's like if a teenager met Justin Bieber, Johnny Depp, or something like that. He couldn't say anything. It was just a magical experience, and I got to shake his hand. It was great. You'll get to see how I tie in Neil Armstrong and poetry. At first, I didn't think the two would have any in common, but they have plenty.
Is the magazine online too, or is it?
Yeah.
Yes, you can order it from Amazon.
Create Space or Amazon.
The last guy, he put all his stuff, online, and you could order it as a book. Do y'all do both? Is all your stuff free online and?
We have selections online.
I can see doing both, because
I take whatever, just random usually. I just pick whatever suits the moment. I put it on my WordPress blog. It's www.harbingerasylum.wordpress.com. And it's just a blog like any other blog, and it's got a lot of
Kindle.
Yes.
And you can get mine. You can get this one for it's in 3 volumes because it's so many pages. It's like 3 volumes, and it's $2.99 for each volume. So, you know, considering I charge $14, I don't even charge 95 cents no more. And, you know, if you buy this from me, it's 14.
It's just an even, yeah.
If you buy the e-version, it's $2.99. That's like $9 or $10 right there. You
So
know.
through that press locally, they do the e-version.
And you go, you know, if you have a Nook device, you go to Barnes and Noble, then you can get it for $2.99.
What's the name of it?
This one here, let you look at it. I brought copies.
Which company did that for you, where they made it into an e?
Mad Lit.
Those are on Create Space too, but the reason I didn't do it is because when I had it transformed from the original file into a Kindle version, it messed it all up.
Really?
It was actually the fault of the file I put together. It was meant for that kind of publishing right there, the regular print publishing. But I'm sure if you took it and redid it yourself and made it look appropriate, they'll show you the digital version and everything where you can look at it. I wasn't pleased with the way it looked. It was very jagged.
But you didn't have to do anything in Madlib, did it?
No, he did. That was part of
The
the contract.
Kindle part was, he did part.
Yes, and like I said, it comes in 3 volumes because I think it's like 266 pages.
It's almost 300.
Yes. And, you know, I actually put a little history about my hometown in there. Actually, that cover is my hometown. The lighthouse, my hometown city. Right
If
there.
y'all not seen this, y'all need to look at this book, because it's gorgeous.
You know, and
It feels beautiful, my
I'm
God.
going to let you feel these two.
And everything is really, and those stuff compared to this,
Yes.
Especially since he got ripped off of those.
Yeah,
because of the rights to the book and
I've had people who actually bought my book and Publish America hasn't paid me. And so like I asked them what was going on. They said that the people that buys the books hadn't sent them the money. So this is why I sell my, and now you say, oh, I'm a Trump. I sell my.
How did you get this idea?
I was
No, that's all I
all.
do.
Poetry on
Yes,
e-books.
that's
because
all.
this is formatting and not
Mad
stuff
Lib.
to it.
yeah.
It always was.
It's a difficult market too. It's a specialized market.
Yes.
Oh my, well, you mean
Like for
all
so you can get one Kindle.
But anyway, that doesn't know, I hear it's a giant problem for poetry because it reformats every single time.
That's exactly what
It's all the
happened.
software.
They did a reformatting. It's something poetry is so most poets like to write all the page and their own syntax and stuff, and it doesn't do it very
Yeah,
well.
we'll change it every time you read it.
Yeah.
But with Madlib or whatever, is that what's called Madlib?
Yes, ma'am.
Then your Kindle versions worked fine.
Yeah.
You didn't have the problem he did, so that's the
No,
advantage of
because I have
Madlib.
there's some students that I go to school with. They actually, while we was in class, they was like, well, can I get it on the Kindle? She said, I have a Kindle on my phone. I'm like, yeah. She ordered it right there. And I seen it and I did get paid for it. You know, and like I said, because it's in 3 volumes and it's $2.99, she only got 1 volume, but she said she gonna get the other 2 volumes. Still, she still did that. I know other people who've done it too.
Have y'all discovered any disadvantage to Madlib over Create Space? Is your stuff on Amazon too?
Yes, you go to Amazon.
Is there any better, do y'all think Madlib's a little bit better for that reason if you're going to do an ebook? Or is there advantages to Create Space that y'all found that are better?
The reason I didn't use the ebook on Create Space is because of formatting, like we were saying earlier, the formatting has screwed
But
up.
would you do Madlib from now on, knowing what he said? Or do you still think Create Space for the convenience and everything else that it's not going to
The
be?
difference between what we're doing and what he's doing is you would have to sign a contract with his particular publisher in order to get published with us. We're publishing ourselves, so. But you can go straight to.
There's no contract. I mean, well,
Unless we're signing for a specific book.
Right. Like for this Iranian poet that we were going to deal with, he was going to draw up a contract for her because we're actually, an official press, Transcendent Zero Press. I mean, that's our official publishing press. I mean, we want to do that for her.
And one thing about the publishing press is they probably want to people that, don't have a big name, don't have, a lot of behind them. They just are good poets. That's a matter of my personal taste for the magazine and our personal taste. If you become a publisher yourself, I think that somebody said that not everybody can be an editor as well as a poet, but one thing I've noticed is when you're working with other poets, they can be kind of picky and peculiar. You don't want to.
Oh, thanks.
You don't want to take their poems and ruin them. They're going to hack them up and stuff. They want to put it in the way they intended it to be put. And so that's one thing that.
So you have to be accepted by Madeline or is that just a?
That's a really good point.
Me and Matt, which is, his name is S.B. Red. We are good friends. I used to be on the radio station. He used to have a blog talk radio show. And we met at the National Black Book Festival that comes to Houston every year. And he's originally from Houston. And we first met on MySpace. And then he sent me a message and said, oh, I'm from Houston. And he said, and he got me into going to the National Black Book Festival. All of a sudden, he said, I have a radio station. So I started coming on there. We just kind of bonded together. And he has a book, he writes a lot. And same situation with Publish America. He got the same deal. He got the same deal I got from Publish America. So he started his own publishing company. So he said,
that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, he said,
I'm not going to chip anybody. I don't pay the royalties that are standard in the industry.
Right.
But if I were to work with other poets, as far as
he asked me, he said, you going to do another book? And at the time, I said, I did 2 books, I'm good. And he said, hey, I'll do you a book. Come on over, we talk about it. So then I said, okay. He said, just send me what you got. He said, I already know you got everything already together. And I said,
well, you have a reputation, so somebody who doesn't have a reputation, he might not accept. Or is it just a fee-for-service thing he's doing?
Well, he took ZM Weiss because I recommended him.
Right, but it's not a guarantee like it is with on demand that press is going.
Well,
are
this
they
is
putting
one of
their
many
name on it?
examples.
Are they putting their name on it?
Well, see, what it is, the thing about it is, he like, if you have your stuff already together, like if you were to see my manuscripts, all my manuscripts is already done, they just need edits. I got manuscripts, they got the name on it, got pictures and everything. So when somebody say, hey, can you send me the manuscript? Yes, I just download it and then push a button and it's ready. And he knew that about me. That's why he said he would deal with me because he said you already had everything organized. He's got many places where he went in there and when he got the manuscript, he was like, what is this? And see, for me, like he said, anytime I want to send him a manuscript, I can just do it.
It has to be accepted.
Yeah, because he knows everything is already there. And I just sent him one.
But anybody else you go to, you're going to be, they're going to take a cut of it. Like if y'all publish somebody. But the advantage is that, like with this last guy, I learned on y'all's website, which is already established, the book I published that y'all accept are Madeline. I'm posted under there. So the bigger they are, the more publicity I'm riding on their back or whatever.
Exactly.
And like you told me, I said, if you want to market your book, go ahead. I'm not going to charge you. That's your book.
Right, but you got to be accepted.
The good news though is that Mark Twain actually had his own publishing project and it just went completely under financially. So just because you're not doing well financially doesn't mean you're not going to have a name, You might actually be Mark Twain, the next Mark Twain. I'll go over that. You're making any money. That's how writers work. We don't make a lot of money.
So what is your publishing? You didn't get to write cards.
Would you advise actually hiring a good editor once you have your piece together? Before sending to before sending to
You can find somebody that knows a little bit about grammar, knows enough about grammar and spelling and stuff. Everything. You just find somebody that's they actually work with. You can hire somebody through CreateSpace or something. They'll do it. It's pretty expensive. It was like $125 for the full package, I think, for them to do the help you design the book and everything.
Well, they've got Texas Writers League that has people that are really nice. And they've got a whole resource library over here in Blue Street. Texas Writers League.
I was going to say that 2+ You know, you got Texas University up here. You can go to the English department and for a final student just say,
Exactly. And
Put a notice on one of the boards or other.
everyone is, that's what Amanda Traver did with our book, the cover design. She was a student in graphic design, and she was a friend of mine. So I just asked her, would you like to help design the cover? I chose the painting, I chose the text that was going to go on there, and she just put it all together for me. Adobe Acrobat.
Okay.
oh, sorry.
That's all right. It's all right. We're just going to move on quickly to the disadvantages of self-publishing, because to every good side, there's also some disadvantages as well. The cost of creation. Pretty much, authors are responsible for creating their own books. They're going to have no help whatsoever from a regular publisher to put it all together, unless unless you want to go that route, that's completely up to you. You know, if you want to just put it together, like I was saying, formatting, editing the whole entire thing, cover to cover, and putting that together. And as far as the ebook, like the minimal cost for that is zero if the authors make their own cover. So, or they can find one of their friends to do it for them. The cost of printing, pretty much the process is the authors list the retailers with their titles, and the retailers print the book at the time of POD or print on demand. Printing one book at a time costs a whole lot more than printing thousands at a time, and it's pretty much similar to the process of publishing house. But the advantage of POD is that the authors control their own price, of course. So, physical bookstores. Okay. For Barnes and Nobles, for example, if you want to try and sell your own book, I mean, good luck. Poetry is pretty much, I see this in almost every bookstore. Poetry specifically is shunned. You know, it's in this itty bitty corner right over there, and pretty much have to go through the whole entire labyrinth of it's a vampire novel and things like that, and just to get straight to the poetry. And they do have terms and conditions that you have to abide by, and if you want to try and sell it there, or in a coffee shop, if you want to try and sell it there, they might take a little percentage, but at least they're helping you, spread the word out.
What would you not like the terms and conditions of Barnes and Noble on top of the fact that they have the books? Have you ever looked into the terms and conditions?
Yes and no. I mean, it really depends on the author. First of all, I mean, they do have
money that when they sell a book, they take so much money basically making.
Yeah, like I said, the first two books are $16.95, and it's only 61 pages.
That's why you publish.
And then I get $1.99, and $16.95. Then you got to pay for the shipping. That's why I tell people, hey, I always have copies with me to sell.
Yeah.
And I only charge, the first 20 charge $10.
And that was that rip-off book. But your new book
It's 14.
Okay,
It
but
is
if
14.
they order it through Madlib off their website, right? They can do
Yes,
that too.
well, he charged shipping. If you got to pay shipping, MAD, MAD, publishing.
Okay.
He's going to charge shipping too. All of them charge shipping.
About the same price as what you sell it for or not? Or is it cheaper to buy from you?
But if you buy it from me, you only going to pay $14. And I mean, even if I have to mail it to
Does
you,
he sell it for 14 also?
it's
The price is always the same.
$14.95 on the book. Like I said, I just had the 95
Oh,
cents.
even from that?
Yes. And like I said, my third one, I like it. I hope my life. It's cheaper. It's like if I order this, yeah. Like if I get ordered 10 of them books, I only pay $60 for if I order 10 of the first one or 10 of the second one, I have to pay between $120 on just to get 10 of them. I think it's a lot. Yeah, it's like double what I should get first. So that's why I'm going to do it now.
Alright, just a couple more things and I'll wrap it up. As far as the marketing promotion, without a publisher, they're completely on their own as far as marketing, whether it's word of mouth, blogging, social networks, like Facebook, Twitter, any other social networks. If you you have pictures of your own book, you can post it on, I believe it's called Instagram. I'm not way too familiar with the site, but you can make your own profile, post pictures and all. You can also, another option, you can go the audio route. You can hire, I thought of this myself, a voice actor. That's my other, I'm actually a professional voice actor as well. And you can get them to, promote your book for you. But without a publisher to help promote you, you're just completely on your own. And then the last thing is it's the author advance. And it's much less common than the traditional publishing, and advances are from $1 to $5 grand each. So,
The publisher, yeah.
right. Other than that, Dustin, do you want?
I was going to ask,
Yes.
the only thing we don't have is any contact information for you.
Yes, of course. Anybody wants my card?
Give them your card.
Yes, please.
This is such a wonderful piece you gave us.
Yeah.
This is my email right
I
here.
so appreciate that. Thank you so
I
much.
really hope that's legible.
Thank you, y'all are so sweet.
You are.
This is my email. ZaraDogs@gmail.
You would have taken
Yeah.
Desire Dogs.
My contact information is on it. There's my phone number. There's my website.
You want to write down?
My website includes there's a bio and then there's 2 links. There's one for my Facebook fan page where all my published poems are posted if you'd like to read, or if you prefer the visual experience, my YouTube channel is there as well, and you can find all my videos on there, and comments, points, make fun if you wish.
That's great.
Just do that behind my back.
blog right here.
Oh, that's what I wanted. Yeah.
Can I say